saying you want more. The sound is hype, and we're sure that you feel real good when you're part of the remix show Adventure. I think it's time to make the floor burn. What I'm saying is, it's our turn to do things we always wanted to. The remix show is here for you. Yes, I go by the name of the Ear Doctor. Let me introduce you to your host. Bringing you that raw, we got no other than Dr. Jared Ball. And giving you that down low, we got it nothing but that burn it down, Kim Brown. I said that all wrong. But anyway, we ain't got no sponsor, but who do we got? No other than Kalanji Jama Changa. And hold up.
Wait a minute.
We ain't got Jackie Lukeman in it. We ain't got it right here on the Remix Morning Show. Let's go. Woo.
Man, I was about to start the roof.
Hey, yo,
that was on point until you.
I know. I messed
got
up.
To Kim. You was
my
rocking.
bad. My bad.
I don't know what's going on around here. I'm just gonna say that
already.
They already getting it started. Yo, I want to say I had a dream about the morning show last night, right? And something happened, and I end up for some reason, Ear Doctor was chasing me, right? He was like a black Ichabod Crane. He was on a horse, trying to take my head off.
Throwing records at you. Get to the. You gonna listen to these turntables.
I just wanted to point that out. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I just remembered it real quick. But anyway, welcome to the Remix Morning Show where all
hold on. I need to process this visual of Ear Doctor or the horse chasing Kalanji. And Kalanji running from Ear Doctor whilst the Ear Doctor is riding that horse. What?
I mean, he was like a black Ichabod Crane. Y'all remember Ichabod Crane back in the day?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And that's why I'm saying instead of throwing, jack-o'-lanterns, he was throwing records or pumpkins or whatever.
That was real serious.
That's why, therapists in the chat, please get busy on that one.
Right.
Break that down.
The dream interpreters. Come through dream interpreters. Yeah. What's that mean? Right. What's that mean?
Omen.
Kalanji's afraid Ear Doctor coming for him is how I take it.
Not at all. That's not what happened. I don't know what it was, but anyway, I think Ear Doctor's trying to take my host slot. That's what it was.
Oh wow.
Turntable for a head. Oh man, they started early.
Wow.
They started early. Shout out to all the remixes out there. BPM family. Shout out to the FTP movement because y'all out there as well. The answer here. Shout out to all my Black August folks. It's about to go down. You know what I mean? And I'm excited about Black August. Like, I guess like Christians are excited about Christmas. You know what I mean? I just wanted to point that out there.
I like that. Yeah. I like that. I don't get excited for actually that's a good point. I don't get excited for anything except Black August. There's not one other holiday or celebration or gathering that in fact I usually have to be reminded stuff is coming.
Word up.
I just blank out. I'm just like I don't,
Well, I catch you on the break. I don't want Kalanji thinking I'm taking this spot.
All right, Ichabod. Yes. Anyway, shout out to the Ear Doctor for all his work. You know what I mean?
So let me so real quick. So I had an interesting I'm in the process now of having an interesting text chat, group text chat about a TV series called 7 Seconds. And one of the participants in the chat had asked if I and we had seen it. And after I started binging it and started laying out my criticisms, this person said, and this is one of our favorite comrades in the world. This person says to me something to the effect, or says to us that they felt almost guilty for having enjoyed and been entertained by it after reading, and thinking about the criticism and all that. And I just wanted to say publicly to everybody that I think it's important when we engage this media environment that we give each other a little bit of a break and understand the planned, designed, all-encompassing environment that it has been created. And even as I always encourage that we be more critical of media that we enjoy, we have to understand that we enjoy it for a reason. Like the propaganda is good, the medicine works, like these drugs are effective for a reason. Like, you know what I'm saying? The food tastes good, you know what I'm saying? Like all of these, so like, but you know, so that's all I wanted to say. Like, we don't need to like beat each other up and ourselves up for feeling, you know, for enjoying something that is in fact politically horrific. That's all. You know,
I think I like that. I like that, especially since Wakanda Forever is coming out, and I've seen the trailers, and I'm a comic book geek. I loved the first movie. I loved Black Panther because they did the comic book legit. But I understand that the politics are crap. I mean, so I think it's okay to grow up and mature. And I'm so glad you said that, Jared, because I think it's okay to mature and realize that all of this is propaganda. Like every movie in the Marvel comic universe has serious US imperialist, yay, rah, rah, the heroes propaganda. And it's okay to grow up and realize that, but still really, really enjoy the movies. But understand that that there are people who think that, you know, this is like a legitimate representation of certain American ideals, right? I think it's possible to kind of enjoy entertainment for entertainment's sake, but also critique it for the bad politics. Sometimes it's not.
I think we have to criticize it.
Sometimes it is.
I think along with
I mean, I'm not even saying.
No, go
my
ahead.
bad, Kalonji. Go ahead. I don't think we need to. I don't think we need to. Like, I'm not even saying. Like, I don't want to. Like, I appreciate people who say I don't deal with any of it. I avoid all of it. I appreciate people who say, you know, or who are incredibly critical or condemning of the media itself. All I'm encouraging is that those of us, myself included, who succumb to these powerful invitations to enjoy ourselves, even with some shit we really know we shouldn't, is that's all. I'm just saying, like, to be a little easier on ourselves. That's all. Like
I
get to the analysis.
I appreciate it, Jared. I was watching Norbit the other day, and Norbit is a very problematic movie, but it is so goddamn funny. Norbit is so funny. It is fat phobic. It is misogynoirist. It has a lot of flaws, but damn if Norbit don't crack me the fuck up when I watch Norbit.
I think what we got to do too, because I notice a lot of folks are harder on quote unquote black movies or movies with black representation than they are white movies. They'll watch Black Panther, some shit, and they'll have all the critique in the world, but then these same motherfuckers will go watch Patriot Act or some shit, a Patriot Day, whatever the fuck it is. You know what I mean? They'll watch Freddy Krueger, they'll watch Friday, they'll watch all this other shit, they'll watch Tom Cruise. I think that the one thing that we have to do from an organizational perspective and an educational perspective is not browbeat folks for what they're doing. The one thing I did appreciate about that last Panther movie is the fact that folks, for whatever reason, even if it was for that particular moment, you saw a whole bunch of folks walking around with dashikis on. Okay, even though some of them, you know, they might have got their dashiki from the dollar store, whatever the hell, you know, they had some type of cultural representation, right? You know what I'm saying? They looked at Africa from
China can make it dashiki now. Don't
without a doubt. But you know, and along with that, and even with Malcolm, with the whole Spike Lee movie, and we talked about that shit in the past. You know what I'm saying? Even the whole thing about Malcolm X, folks being interested in who Malcolm was. Many of us can remember back in the day, there might have been a line in an encyclopedia about Malcolm X. There might have been a line in the World Book Encyclopedia or Encyclopedia Britannica about the Black Panther Party. So it sparked interest. Our job as organizers, we should never expect our enemy, as Yuri talked about, to tell our stories for us. That doesn't make sense. That's you know, that would be foolish for them to get it right or to want to get it right. So when they air Shaka Zulu, when they air all these other different films, our duty is to come in and properly politicize it. Do a showing. You understand what I'm saying? Break that shit down. they did a movie about Black August some years ago. And the Black August Organizing Committee condemned that shit, and rightfully so, because they had George looking like, like he was just nuts. You know what I'm saying? Talking terrible. And smoking. I forgot the dude's name. I really wanted to whip the
actor. Everybody knows him too.
You know what I'm saying? Roger Guinevere, I think.
No. Oh no. It wasn't Roger Guinevere.
No,
it was the dude with the locks and the light eyes.
Not Different World.
You know what he was? He played. He was a cop on one of those Law and Order
Gary
spin-offs.
Something? Does he have like
Gary,
light eyes?
Light eyes. Yeah.
But I was thinking about Roger for the Huey movie. Roger was in.
But Roger Guinevere Smith did the Huey thing. Yeah,
right.
That's
right.
Mm-hmm.
But my point is, it's like, we did a screening of Black August, and then we broke that shit down and we ripped it apart. But the people have to understand first. You can't just attack the movie before the folks get to see it, because of the fact that they'll miss some shit. You know what I'm saying? So of course Hollywood is going to do what they're going to do, but we have to do what we have to do.
Yeah.
Gary the only Gordon thing I want to add. Okay, thank you. The only thing, Jackie, I would want to just gently, lovingly push back on is that I don't think Black Panther did the comic book justice, and the only reason I reached that conclusion is from reading my man Dr. Todd Stephen Burrows' work, where he breaks down the history of the comic and all the different versions of the comic. So it depends on which version of the comic and under whose author or stewardship you're talking about. So like I had to learn all of that because I didn't read the comic. So I just encourage people to check out Dr. Burrows' work. Please go check out our first Academics and Cars, where I and Dr. Haight just leave the movie theater, haven't seen Panther for the first time, and talk about it. It's hilarious and informative. And we'll definitely be doing more of that. But yeah, anyway. But I just wanted to put that out there. We need. I just take it easy.
I was never into comic books. I was never into comic books. You know what I'm saying? The only comic book I was really checking out was like Archie and Jughead. You know what I'm saying? To keep it 100. Damn. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't into none of that. But for my son was heavy into the whole Marvel universe and DC and all that. So I learned from him. But for me, it was good. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the whole Black Panther movie, just in theory, you know what I mean? Not knowing the backstory, not understanding Marvel and not really caring, but at the same time, okay, here's a quote unquote positive Black superhero, whatever the hell he is, in Africa. Okay, it's a fictional land, Wakanda, we get it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, how do we take that? How do we shape it, mold it, flip it, and make it do what it do?
Yeah, and thanks for pointing that out about which Black Panthers, because I didn't even realize there were different authors of the Black Panther comics until I got older, and so and Todd Stephen Burrows is as much of a comic book geek as I think I am. Todd Stephen Burrows is mad respect for his depth of knowledge, not just for the comic lexicon of just about anything, but just a great author. But I can't forget, like, the first time I think you, Abdus, and I met in person, Jared, was at that screening of Black Panther that WPFW
was that
did.
when it was? Yeah.
And there was a panel discussion, and Ajamu Baraka was there, and because the criticism of the CIA agent as the good guy hero was being raised, man, those Black folks in that theater were ready to kill some people.
Yeah, because I was the one raising it, and I was on that panel, the one raising it, and it got a little heated in that joint. Like it was a little uncomfortable. Like people were in their feelings, giving me mean mugging, and Jamu thankfully was in the audience, and then chimed up during the Q&A to support the question, at least, of the damn imperialism in the joint. Otherwise, it was a lot. It was uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Jamu for that.
This question on the screen, I don't understand it. I mean, I don't think no one is saying that we could out organize Hollywood propaganda, but organization, if we can organize 10 people out of 1,000 is better than most. If you can get 10 people that's down, that's all the way down, is better than none. So the reality is, you know what I'm saying? If when we're organizing, we must organize, period. I don't give a damn if we only get one person out the group. You know what I'm saying? If we can get one Balagoon or one Daruba, that's more than most. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what I'm looking at. But anyway, that's just my thing.
All right. So I know we could definitely come back to this, and we'll keep this discussion going, obviously, especially after the film comes out. I think in November, we're going to have to ramp all this back up. But speaking of lifting those levels back up, we got the ear doctor waiting to jump back on here. So let's go ahead and bring him back.
All right. Although we do like, there we go. All right, yo, and don't forget about it being parallel universes and the multiverse. So it's all different types of writings and background where you got different stories of each character. So
right.
All right, here we go. So we're gonna take a quick break real quick, and yeah, this is the Remix Morning Show, y'all. In case you didn't know. All right, welcome out to another beautiful day. Another beautiful day. You breathing, breathe in. Exhale that negative. That's right. That's how we do today. Anyway, let me make sure y'all know to hit that like button at the bottom. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe and tell a friend to tell a friend. It's on again every Tuesday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Become a member and go to patreon.com and drop some change in the bucket because you know we love it. All right, boom. Here we go. Who are we going to talk about today? You know, I ain't got my lavish background, but I got a lavish background. So let's talk about no other than Carl Weathers. Carl Weathers. Do y'all know about Carl Weathers? That's right. He is an actor straight out of New Orleans. That's right. He also not only is an actor and television director, he was also a football player. That's right, for the NFL. But you all know him as Apollo Creed in Rocky. He also was with Arnold Schwarzenegger in Predator. And then he was in Happy Gilmore with what's that dude? Adam Sandler. That's right, and Little Nicky. This dude even did voices for Toy Story franchise. I mean, he's been in Arrested Development. He's done so many different things to now. And to this day, he's still doing stuff with Star Wars and The Mandalorian. So real quick, like I said, back in 1970s, he played for the Oakland Raiders. After that, he went to the Canadian League and played and then got released. So he did his little thing in the football. But then back in the day, when he first started, he was, what was he, like in 8th grade? And he got a scholarship for playing football. He did football, boxing, gymnastics, judo, soccer, wrestling. I mean, this dude did everything. Now, if we're going to talk about what he did on the screen, oh, my goodness. Well, we got to go all the way back to 1973 when he was first on in a movie with Clint Eastwood, Magnum Force. And then after that, Black Cinema was like, come on down. So next thing you know, 1975, my year of birth, he did Friday Foster with Pam Grier and then Bucktown with Fred Williamson. And from there, he just started the Rocky franchise and then even did Close Encounters of a Third Kind. I mean, this guy's done so much. But one of my favorite movies, yeah, we know him from this, but Action Jackson. Oh, my goodness. And this had Vanity in it and Coach as the villain. Oh, my goodness. This was one of the best movies, like I said. And then he made it all the way to what I said, once again, now he's in The Mandalorian. So he's been putting in his acting since 1973 to now. And like I said, he's been in Predator. He's been in all types of TV shows. When you even go back to Good Times, he was in Good Times. He was in The $6 Million Man, Starsky and Hutch. I mean, listen, this guy's been putting in the work. So we got to give it up to my man, Carl Weathers. All right. Big up to Carl Weathers. Keep on doing what you're doing, bro. And that's what we're doing right here. Let's get back to the morning show. All right.
Man, speaking of silly stuff, he was in one of my favorite shows. He was in he had a recurring role in Arrested Development too.
Arrested Development. Yep. That dude.
I never watched the rest of Development. It's weird.
That joint, I'll tell you, that joint is hilarious on multiple views. That actually, it takes multiple times to catch everything. I think that joint is one of the best shows ever. Actually, talking about the nonsense.
Park and Recreation and The Office. Yeah, all those shows are good. But
in terms of black action hero, I mean, Carl Weathers was pretty much it in the 80s, was he not? Like
black action hero.
He took on the mantle from, I guess, Tim Kelly and them from the 70s, and then the 80s he was it.
He was a guy. Yeah, he was.
I didn't like how they had Arnold son him in The Predator though.
But Mr. T wasn't no action.
What about Mr.
hero.
T?
He was only in 18.
Nah.
Yeah, he wasn't no action
in
hero.
DC Cab, that was about it.
Yeah.
That wasn't
Nah.
18?
No. I'm talking about movie star.
Movie star. He was that guy.
He was Mansa Musa.
Whatever.
I'm joking.
He was that dude though.
But he's in Rocky as well, though, right? He had a good role.
Yeah.
Rocky
the white boy ass, Club of Lang.
Only one.
Okay.
He was
only
in
once though.
1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Carl Weathers was.
Rocky,
You talking about Mr.
Carl Weathers, not
Yeah.
Mr. T was only one. He was only in Rocky 3, but Carl Weathers was in all the joints until Rocky 4.
Yeah, and then Predator. Those are the big movies that really brought him out, and people was like, "Wow!" And then Action Jackson came out, and Vanity's only been in The Last Dragon in that movie right there. So I had to give him all the props for that. Yeah.
Okay.
But I did identify a problem in the chat, and Keontae.
Oh my goodness!
This is a massive problem.
That is
Kick him
foul
out.
right there.
Kick him out. No.
You can't. You got to see Godfather 1, 2, and 3.
No.
Some people don't.
I don't
like
know
that.
about 3, at least 1 and 2, and if you can,
definitely 2.
I would even encourage people to see that new series that came out recently called The Offer, where they talk about the making of The Godfather. It is hilarious and interesting, to the extent it's true. But
there's no excuse for people having not seen The Godfather. And
Godfather is an excellent piece when it talks about loyalty, and I think that of course it has this it's racism, but but The Godfather is like a must see. That's like I would put Godfather 1 and 2 on my list of quote unquote revolutionary movies to watch, and I'm only saying that. I'm saying
I wouldn't have said that. Oh.
Yeah, I wouldn't have said that. That's interesting.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying in the top. I'm not saying in the top. I'm just saying when it comes to family and loyalty.
Yeah, family.
And I think that's one of the things that a lot of folks lack when it comes to organization. They lack loyalty. They lack structure. They
Look
lack
at this.
discipline.
This is
and it shows.
This is
who are these?
We've hit rock bottom right here. Dealer the Real has hit rock bottom.
These are bots making these comments. This is
that is telling on.
But you know why?
I got to get off early.
You know why people make that mistake? Though people make that mistake a lot, and I tell you why people make that mistake, because people have been conditioned to mistake bloodshed and violence for good story and acting. And there is no substitute for good story, good acting, good script. And that's why The Godfather doesn't need all of that extra, all that stupid stuff. Which once you take away, it has no, it doesn't match. It doesn't rise to the level. Listen, so it's not that Goodfellas is terrible, but
it was great.
But you know what it is too, though. You know what it is too when you talk about Godfather 1 and 2 in particular. And if you're not, it can be slow for some people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But if you understand, family, if you've ever been a part of any type of organization, not no loose fit shit. I'm talking about where you have true camaraderie, where you live together, where you grow together, where you have to build together, where you got to get down together. It is an excellent piece. And it also shows one thing about what's your man name? Sal, the reactionaries, how the reactionaries end up. It also shows betrayal. It also shows, you know what I'm saying? So it's so many jewels.
And how to handle betrayal.
But it's not slow. It's
no. I'm saying for folks, it's not slow to me.
That's what
I'm just saying. I hear people talk about it. They don't understand.
That's why Better Call Saul is way better than Breaking Bad, That's what I'm talking about. I'll leave it there. That's
Man.
why Better Call Saul is
See, this
way
is why
better
I
than
don't
Breaking
tell
Bad.
people what I watch, because I watch some seriously problematic stuff, and
No
and
question.
I don't want people psychoanalyzing, what kind of revolutionary I am based on
Man,
what I
please.
watch.
Man, Shotas is the best movie anyway.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
What did
Lord.
he say?
Shotas
Shotas,
is the
but what
best movie.
Shotas in the Godfather, honey? Come
Say
on.
what?
Listen, man.
We always
That's
talk
like
about two different
comparing.
genres.
That's like comparing Belly to I don't know, damn near anything.
Let's do to the map what we should do to these recommendations and arguments about movies. And
You man,
slap
Sal just died too, huh? Slap the map.
Sonny just.
Sonny. That's right.
Right on. Welcome back to the Remix Morning Show, right here at Black Power Media.
Yeah.
I was saying we should queue up Nina Simone and Baltimore, and if I could sing, I'd sing it myself. But it apparently, oh, you know why? I know what it is. You know what it is? My bad. I had my NordVPN on, and it was telling me the Baltimore Sun is blocked in my city, in my country, wherever they thought I was.
I wish it was blocked in my country.
But I was just trying to bring up the story that Sister Erica had for us, because I had been it had been in and I still can't. So maybe we can't get to that story right away, or unless someone else can pull it up. But the story of the woman that killed her husband.
Oh, please.
Former cop and child molester.
Please talk about this.
I'm trying to pull it up and I can't because they.
Cool.
Oh, here we go.
It's cool. I've been following it, Jared. I can tell the people them all about it because.
Go ahead and get us started. I got it though.
Okay, guys. So this I think started Friday night in DC. And listen, they was talking about it on the Friday night 11 o'clock news because there was a shooting at the Mandarin Oriental Hotel. Now, if you're familiar with DC, the Mandarin Oriental Hotel is one of the most expensive hotels in the city, and shootings don't usually happen there. So they were like, yeah, a woman shot a man inside the Mandarin Oriental Hotel, and then it comes out who the woman is. She is a Black woman. I don't have her name. I think her last name is Weems.
Weems is the last name. Yep. Mm-hmm.
She has allegedly shot her husband after she allegedly discovered that I'm using all the allegedlys here, after he allegedly has been accused of sexually abusing children in his wife's care. She ran a daycare center in Baltimore County, I believe out in Owings Mills. So apparently last Friday night, when the wife reportedly discovered her husband's horrific behavior, she shot him. Now he lived. He is currently in the hospital right now. He will survive his gunshot wounds. But as this whole story has transpired over the past several days, it turns out that now Baltimore County Police either have opened an investigation or they have officially charged him with a few counts of sexual abuse. And it is wild to me. Like that, I mean, I know that sis is in jail because she shot somebody, but she does not need to be in jail, dog. She does not need to be in jail. Whatever sis's name, we need to free her ass because listen, if I had a daycare center where I was in charge of children and their well-being and their welfare, and I found out that my partner was supposedly abusing these children, especially molesting them, should she not have shot him? I think shooting him was absolutely on the fucking table. So it's a wild story. Shatiri Weems, free Shatiri Weems, man. Get Shatiri the fuck out of jail because I don't know what Shatiri's option was in that scenario, but it is a wild story. And the other part about that, I'm sorry, Jared, but the man, the apparent, the alleged child molester is a former Baltimore City police officer.
Yeah, charged with 3 counts of sexual abuse involving a minor, 3rd-degree sexual offense, 2nd-degree assault, and 4th-degree sexual offense. He also faces charge of displaying obscene material to a minor.
Yeah, I think my only criticism for her is that she aimed too low.
Come on,
you know
come on.
She should have shot his joint off. That's
why you got to get that range practice. That's why practice is important. Practice.
That's my only criticism.
That's what ranges are for, so we can practice.
Yeah, no tolerance for that bullshit.
Do we know if the police, if there had been any allegations made against this dude before his wife found out and shot him? Do we know if anybody reported?
I don't see it in this story. This is the only story I've seen, and I don't see it here. But
so what the other aspect, one of the other details that was released about the shooting that happened Friday is that apparently within the hotel room, like I think there were 2 handguns, etc. But the wife had apparently written out several letters of apology to the children, saying she was not aware that this abuse was happening. She didn't know. So it doesn't seem that this was a situation where she was aware of it. But Jacqueline and everybody, y'all know, abusers just don't start. He didn't just start molesting in his 40s and 50s. Chances are there will be more victims, I hope, to come forward, because that's just how predators operate. But it's not shocking to me that this man is a former police officer, because we know the ways in which cops will abuse their power, abuse their authority, abuse their position, and how they are abusers themselves, and the system protects them. So, like I said, shout out to sis, man. I mean, again, like Kalani, she should have aimed better.
Yeah, I would like to. On the flip side, I would like to learn more about the case and learn if any family members have come forward as well, because if in fact that is the case, that's the truth, then indeed, and it seems like you said he got charged. He was charged.
Yes.
Okay.
Multiple counts. The story also said that there were that people from the center she ran, so apparently families had been coming to her with allegations in increasing number. Then she sat down and had a conversation with her husband that apparently wasn't convincing, or convinced her that he was in fact guilty, and that's when she took action.
I'm trying to figure out how they end up in the hotel. She must have set him up like, let's have a nice little whatever, because they live out that way. I mean,
but that's a little bit of a distance from Baltimore County down to the Mandarin Oriental. That's why initially I thought it was
Baltimore County.
Yes. Well, let me rephrase. Her daycare center is in Baltimore County. I don't know that they live in Baltimore County, actually.
Oh yeah, that was absolutely a setup. She was like, "Oh, boo, let's have a nice weekend. I booked us a nice room at the Mandarin, which is a really." You're right, Ken. It's a really.
I mean, like $400.
I got lost one day, made a wrong turn. I was like, "Oh, damn, this is too rich for me, and I'm kind of bougie." Shit.
Yeah, but I mean, but the thing is, it's like, okay, so what kind of charges is she facing right now with the?
She's facing assault. It's some variation of assault, either with like intent to kill, but she's not charged with attempted murder, which I kind of thought was interesting. But it's a variation of assault with a deadly weapon somewhere in there. I think she gonna beat this. Jackie, be looking out in your mail for your jury summons. You got to get her off.
I never ignore jury summonses. But if I get one I mean, and I honestly hope all of her clients. I hope they go to the mat for her. I really do. I hope they come out and go to the mat for her, for doing what she could to protect their children. I mean, free her and fuck this dude. Put him under whatever it is that he is gonna. Oh my God,
his picture is out there, Jared. Did you already pull it up? I want y'all to see.
No, it wasn't in that one article, but what of that comment that we just saw pop up, that we should not be supporting gun violence?
There is such a thing as wanton violence, and there's such a thing as self-defense.
Come through.
And for me, this is self-defense, especially when we're talking about children.
Yes.
And this man is an ex-cop, so Oh,
Yeah. I
Ain't no
mean,
telling how long he was doing
trying to
this.
he's
deal
been
with
a
my
pig
blood
for a
pressure,
long
y'all.
time, huh?
Come
No,
through.
Yeah.
he
I
wasn't gonna
actually,
stop unless he was stopped.
Yeah. I say,
I
I say
yeah,
castrate
sorry,
him
go ahead.
if we're gonna say anti-gun violence. But go ahead.
And let's be
I
clear,
just
like,
don't.
he wasn't charged until after his wife shot him. Okay, like it's not like he was facing these charges beforehand. No, he didn't. The spotlight didn't get hot on him until after she put 2 holes in him.
Oh, see, she done
I
twice.
just don't. I just don't feel like this is advocating gun violence. I feel like there's a difference between what I don't know. And I just feel like there's a difference. I don't feel like this is advocacy of gun violence, just writ large. This is, but I get it. I'm not, I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't
I mean,
agree, but I'm not mad at that sentiment in general. I'm not mad at it. I just don't agree.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't either.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, and I mean, my thing is, we're talking about children, and while it's not quote unquote self-defense in a quote unquote court of law, I think it's a form of justice, and I think that I couldn't imagine I'm being told that someone's husband was molesting my child, and I just go to the police. You know what I'm saying? It'd definitely be a free Kalanji or not, but that'd be one that I would have to take because I'm not. I wouldn't be allowing no shit like that. And
all of a sudden we come into the defense of a child molesting pig.
Yeah, I mean, and it's crazy. I question. Like, I don't care what has to be done, but something has to be done. I don't see him getting locked up. I don't see him going to get some type of help. Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? You are abusing the most vulnerable people in society. You know what I'm saying? And whatever you're doing, it's totally out of order, man. So I don't care. I mean, it don't have to be gun violence. Burn his ass up.
Erica to the rescue, Sister Erica to the rescue, because we can help is on the way. All of our problems from this issue to many others, as we see in this collabo here.
Oh, it just got worse.
Look for Eric Adams soon to be on Roland Martin Unfiltered and Black Star Network. I don't know if this means he's joining as or is he just coming on as a guest, or is there going to be some sort of show behind this?
How Rolly is going to deal with Eric Adams, because Eric Adams is terrible, and I feel like it's going to be a whole bunch of neoliberal, the mutual stroking going on. Like, Eric,
terrible.
You cut millions of dollars from New York City public schools, and yet gave millions more to the NYPD. Like, I'm curious how Rolly is going to handle that, because there are some legitimate things to pull Eric Adams' chain on. He's not doing a good job, is he, New York?
I don't know. Maybe it's the mood I'm in. I feel like I need to find something good to say. I have to say, Roland Martin. I got to shout out to his tailor or the clothes. I think I generally think his t-shirts, his dashikis, and even his suits are sharp.
What are you talking about?
Roland Martin. I think he shows up like like whoever's working with him on.
No,
I don't know. I think I mean, if he's going to show up hugging up on Eric Adams,
man,
I don't know. I can't help it. I was just
Okay.
You did not have to try that hard to find something nice.
I know. Kamal, I saw that. Some of these rappers are really falling in love with Eric Adams. It's so disturbing.
People are confused, man.
Man.
Oh, name names. Who is it? Who's falling in love with Eric Adams?
Math Hoffa, like on
That's your boy.
I'm not even gonna front. If I could hang out in the barbershop, I would. I'm tempted to roll up there one day and just be there. And see what they say. I like that show. I like that platform, and we don't always agree, but and that's one of them. And when I have seen him on a couple of occasions, Math and his crew have had some positive things to say about Eric Adams and other folks.
At what point do people get discredited, Jared? At what point do we discredit?
I hear you. I'm saying I don't go to Math Hoffa for politics.
Gotcha.
That's what I'm saying.
Makes sense.
That's what I'm saying.
Do. But you know, this is the problem with the manosphere. A lot of the problem with the manosphere. Then niggas be going to Math Hoffa and Kevin Samuels and be like, "Oh, Eric."
Now I don't put them in the same category. Now that would be too far. I don't put. I think. Oh, really? No, I think Math has some.
I'm generalizing demands. That's it. That's just me. Just making a blanket.
He don't have an abusive outlook towards women. He's
anyway,
they're not abusive towards women. But anyway,
y'all not lost your minds, both of you.
Yeah, I could go get a shape. I could let the growth pop up a little bit and go get it cleaned up. I could make. We
gotta get that blonde. That blonde episode coming up soon.
I'm waiting on the video. Baby girl's editing now.
If you need to, I can hook you up.
Your jokes ready.
I can hook you up with a nice Photoshop move until then, if you like.
No.
I told you. I think we should bring that back. I've been told you. I think we should bring that back.
I mean, Cass started taking it personal, man. You know, I don't think it was appreciated.
I I don't have to step into the Kim's lane of Photoshop, but
okay. How to Photoshop. Even though
anyway, just the lane
Photoshop wars were classic. The Photoshop wars were classic.
You need to bring them back, man.
I don't know which one was the best one though. We had El DeBarge,
the
Albie
Kamal was Prince, and then I hate to say it. I hate to say it as well. I like the Prince one, and I hate to say it because of my personal issues with dude. But the Dyson, where you had me as Michael Eric Dyson, that joint was funny.
I think we'll bring that back.
I was partial to the Albie Shore, to Jared as Albie Shore.
That was pretty good too.
I thought that was exceptionally done. Who could take credit for that? Who did the Albie Shore?
Who take credit?
Kalanji.
I would say my team.
Oh, my team! You got a team? Oh my God!
Shout out to team Whiplash. But anyway, before we rock out, man, I want to there's a situation in Atlanta Federal Penitentiary that we need to talk about, if you all don't mind.
Not at all.
Okay, let's see where we at over here. So as some of you know, can you all see this?
Nope.
Okay,
yet.
so basically right now
there we go.
You see it now? Okay, so a U.S. Senate committee investigation has uncovered the security and safety lapses at the Atlanta Federal Penitentiary is so bad that government assessment called it a security risk for people across the Southeast. Whistleblowers who previously worked behind the walls at the federal prison in Atlanta testified under oath on Capitol Hill to the Senate Permanent Committee on Investigations. The committee is chaired by Georgia Senator John Ossoff. Basically, it's been a whole lot of crazy shit going on. We talked about this in the past. The Atlanta federal prison was so bad they began to call it the Atlanta way throughout the U.S. prison system, as far as the Fed system. Last year, they did a sweep. They found 800 contraband cell phones. They found out that more than half of the surveillance cameras didn't work. 142 of the 253 cameras were down, and even the ones in operation were severely damaged. So we talked about how they was smuggling a lot of different contraband into the prison, but also they had a system where they were bringing inmates outside, taking them to supermarkets and stores and clubs and all kinds of shit. You know what I'm saying? While they're supposed to be doing time. So this is a big investigation going on down at Atlanta Federal Penitentiary. For Atlanta Federal Penitentiary, it's located right in the middle of the hood. I mean, you like literally driving down Memorial, and you run into this big ass Fed penitentiary, which was where they held everybody from Dr. Mutulu Shakur to Marcus Garvey, Al Capone, so on and so forth. So it's a well-known prison, but it's like under serious investigation right now. Right now, they're saying that it's a prison in name. They're not even respecting it as a prison. I know that they said last year there was a situation where one of the inmates used a contraband cell phone to broadcast a Facebook live stream from his prison cell. They said that guards testified that they left the prison doors open because the facility had a serious rat problem. You know what I mean? So it was just off the hook. It was like wasn't even, it was like, I guess, like cafe hell or something. You know what I'm saying? It's like where all the folks just go and party and enjoy themselves. So this is like I said, a Fed prison right here in Atlanta, and they're talking about how it's going to impact and affect things across the country in regards to federal prisons. So we're going to keep you all posted with that, because you need to know. I mean, you have federal inmates, you thinking they're doing time, and shit, they're in a van next door to you.
They're at the club.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, literally.
So unfortunately, I have to roll early again today because we got an early interview. Schedules be like that sometimes.
I know,
but I find it interesting that Congress is doing this whole investigation of this federal prison because security is lax, but they don't never do an investigation of guards abusing people behind the walls. Nobody ever wants to. Y'all know what I'm getting at. Anyway.
No doubt.
And yeah, this is just going to make states and the federal government throw more money at federal prisons and state prisons to beef up so-called security, which only will mean more repression for people on the inside. Tell me if I'm lying, Kalonji.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, that's part of the plan. And I'm not, again, I don't think that the like most of us don't believe that the U.S. government should imprison anyone, because of the fact that we already know that it's a whole slave system coming from its inception. Before it even existed as the United States, it was about prison and enslavement. But my concern is just, it's so much. Shout out to Sean in the background. So my concern is it's a setup, like you said, because more people will be punished, more people will be sent to some of these privatized facilities. And unfortunately, here in the state of Georgia, we have over 300 prisons and jails, whether it's county, whether it's ICE prisons, Fed jails, the whole thing. And it's about to get worse. And most of these joints are like, up in the mountains somewhere. They're, like many of these other places, or they're out in some country ass town where you have some of the most racist crackers that exist. And our people are literally dying and being buried because they have no connection to the outside world. We can recall, we had a sister on some months back where she had an issue with her daughter being abused in the jail and in the prison here in Atlanta. In Georgia. And the beautiful thing is, you all, the remixes and folks at Black Power Media, made calls to that warden, and she's now under better conditions and circumstances because they knew, or they realized, that people were watching. You know what I'm saying? So it's always important for us to make sure that we stay in touch and stay in communication with our loved ones, with our friends, with our comrades, who are quote unquote incarcerated, because if not, they'll be lost within the system.
Absolutely. Well, I got to roll, y'all. See y'all tomorrow. Peace.
All right. Thank you very much, Jack. Wow. That
Enjoy
was quick.
it.
Thank you, Jackie.
Bye, Jackie.
Appreciate you, Jackie.
I dropped them 2 stories in the chat. Just X-nay on them stories. No. I don't even want to do them.
You said X-nay?
X-nay on the stories, because those were Jacqueline specific stories. I have questions for Jackie. So now I got to find a new story, because I wonder, y'all, well, anyway, just what the stories I picked were these EU sanctions are falling the fuck apart. The European Union's like, oh, how about we soften these sanctions on Russia because we need this grain, and we actually we do need Russian petrol. These sanctions may be a little too harsh. So anyway, I'm gonna save them stories for tomorrow, because I would love for Jackie to give us her perspective and analysis.
Hey,
on that.
As soon as I saw the report a couple maybe months ago, when the Koch brother was saying, I'm not cutting my business ties with Russia. I was like, this shit ain't gonna work. And I was like, the Koch brothers alone got too much. They got too many connections the business world got too many. There's too many ties. Like and Russia produces too much shit. So like I was like, as soon as I saw that, I started cracking up. He was like, I don't give a damn. You wave your flag in my face all you want. I bought this government fair and square. He was like,
right. Shit is a mess, man.
So I mean, so yeah, so
Gotta
obviously if he's not gonna leave, you know, his competitor's gonna be like, well, if he's making money off of them fools, I mean.
And that ruble's not doing terrible. That ruble's doing all right. The ruble's doing okay. That US dollar, by the way, not doing so good.
No, and then people were talking about, there were even people on the left talking about how this was going to be proof where cryptocurrency was going to be showing its value at undermining the ruble and supporting people in Ukraine and supporting even Russians and Russia who were being cut off from the global economy. And Putin said, come on, man. It's like, come on, man.
Putin's like, I got too much over here, man. Y'all be back.
Rooting
Y'all leave now, but y'all be back. Y'all will be back.
That's right. Anyway, what was the comment that got pulled up? I didn't see it. Did we?
Some shit the Air Doctor put up about me being on Omawale's show on Friday.
Oh, how did that go? How did it go? How did it go?
I haven't been. I wasn't on there yet. I'll be on Friday.
It's Friday.
So
okay,
y'all can check me out.
It's going to be great. I'm sure
it's going to definitely be great. And you know, because I'm me wherever I'm at. And you know, and that's what it is.
Big facts.
Thank you,
Hold on. Circling back to cryptocurrency real quick, y'all, because you guys know, like my joie de vivre these days is watching Elon Musk fall on his fucking face, as much as a billionaire who's white, who inherited an emerald mine from South Africa. As much as that nigga can fall on his face, he's falling on his face. But I don't know if you saw this, but Tesla released their earnings, I think it was last week, and it turns out that Tesla liquidated a tremendous amount of their cryptocurrency in order to keep the company, I suppose, afloat and profitable. I don't know if you saw that story or not, Jared, but Tesla, I think, liquidated hundreds of millions, if not very close to $1 billion worth of Bitcoin in order to keep their balance sheet, I suppose, pliable.
A lot of people are doing that, and that was again when the crypto supporters were saying that the dollarists and the fiat currency people were scared of crypto because it was going to replace the dollar. That's not what the fear was. This is what you're describing was the fear. That people will invest, big funds, big companies will invest in crypto, and then when they need to, they're going to pull their money out, and that's what's going to have rippling effect throughout the economy. When crypto goes down, it's going to drag down people who have invested in it, and they're going to look to make it up from other areas of the economy. Of course, they're going to sell off their assets in crypto. The banks are already consolidated and buying it all up. And the people who got in when they, at the right time are going to walk out with all the money. They're going to be fine. And everybody else is going to be not. And I don't know. I'm not laughing because I enjoy people suffering. I don't know. I'm actually done. I don't know why I'm laughing. I'm laughing because it's
but they volunteered to suffer. So, slavery's a choice here. You understand? Like, dog, nobody told you to put your money in a motherfucking Bitcoin.
But they did, though, Kim. That's the thing, and that's where I feel bad. Like they did. A lot of money has been spent to put a lot of people on They got Nas doing an NFT album. They got. You know what I mean? They got people from Jim Jones and Bitcoin ATMs to LeBron James. I mean, I feel, so that's why I'm saying, even where we started the show, like, I feel we have to be easier on each other because there is a tremendous amount of effort going to manipulate people into making bad decisions. And this is just another example of it. And I do feel bad for even the people that talked a lot of shit to me personally. I feel bad for them, on some level,
But why though? Why do you feel bad?
Excellent.
Because they're still human beings, Kalanji, and a lot of them are still black and brown human beings, and they're ultimately good people who just got suckered. So on some level, I feel, and I don't know, I'm getting old. I don't know, I'm soft. I don't know.
Oh, man, your pettiness against smoothing your pettiness out. That's horrible.
And like your boy Omawale said, man, I'm a promoter of queer theory. So maybe that's what it is, man.
Whatever
maybe
it takes for you to get it done, man.
Softening all the way around, man. I don't know.
I'm just saying,
whatever
like,
it works.
How many scams we're gonna fall for, man? How many fucking scams are we gonna go for? I mean, I hear what you're saying, Jared. Like, that celebrity propaganda is powerful, and a lot of people aspire to be LeBron James, or they aspire to be like Nas. And I guess if I gotta run,
Hill Harper went on Roland Martin's show. Harper, who can resist Hill Harper?
I mean,
on Roland Martin.
All of this shit is gonna fall, so it's necessary. You know what I'm saying? So I don't feel sorry for anyone.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? The only people I feel sorry for is folks who don't have the ability to fight for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Folks who don't have the strength to fight for themselves. I don't feel sorry for you if you decide to make a concerted effort to jump into a lake of fire. As long as you can swim, as long as you have some you feel like you're flame resistant, then do your thing. Knock yourself.
What about the people who aren't politically or intellectually capable of defending themselves?
That's what capitalism does to you. You have to move.
That's my point.
Movement. You know what I'm saying? So that help push them over to where they need to be. You know what I'm saying?
I'll be the soup sandwich this morning. That's all good. I'll be the soup sandwich this morning. Sorry,
yeah, soup sandwich.
I'll be the soup sandwich this morning. I'll be the soft soup sandwich this morning.
Well, Jared, as somebody who has had conversations with people in this sphere and people who have, belief in crypto to liberate Black economics somehow, I mean, do you think that this is going to be something that can push them more to the left and be like, no, y'all need to stop investing in this American ideal, anything that you think that's going to elevate you to the level of actual capitalists, you need to let them dreams go. Do you think this is going to actually wake up people and radicalize them to understand that capitalism ain't it?
So I know we got to get the ear doctor, so I'll just pull this up because I know we're going to talk more about it Friday morning. But I'm worried because as we look at the updated flyer for InvestFest, you got Steve Harvey, you got Tyler Perry, you got a lot of names in here all participating. You got T-Pain now signed up. So my point is, and this is sort of my point, like you got a lot. The propaganda and the new messaging, Kim, to specifically respond to your question, the new messaging is there's already begun that even though we've been telling you for the last several years to invest everything in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, now that it's collapsed, you have to have done better and not out leveraging yourself, not over investing and not overdoing it. And you need to be more careful and diversify, and you need to get more into the real estate and all these other, so they're already rebranding everything to say, like, you did what I told you to do, but you didn't do it as well as I told you to do. So you just need to listen to me more and pay me some more to get the updated advice.
So let me ask you this.
And I don't know. So
let me ask you this.
So sad.
We as a platform and we as folks who know better, what is our response to this? How do we respond? How do we turn up on our end? Because they go for the big guns. What's our response?
Discredit.
Let's start with the ear doctor and then continue to answer that into the next hour. How about that?
I have another mission I have to go on.
That's
see
right.
You guys later on. Yeah. Be safe.
All right, Kalanji. Thank you very much, my man.
Thank you, Kalanji. Yes, you too. Have a good one.
You too. One love.
Safe.
All right, peace, man.
Peace.
Let's take it to
doctor, what you got for us?
We're gonna take it to a quick break right about here, right about now. But I'm gonna talk about top five. Y'all ready?
Top five what?
Tune in, check out.
The Remix Morning Show, everybody. Black Power Media. You know what it is.
What's good, everybody? Welcome out. Thank you all for tuning in to the Remix Morning Show. Once again, I am the ear doctor, and I came to give you my top five. Listen, if you are ever in Atlanta, ATL, and you like, man, I want to try some good vegetarian food, come to me. I can let you know my top 5 places to go. And we're going to start right here. Who am I going to talk about first when it's time to eat some good vegetarian food? Now, let's go over to my homegirl, Tassili's Raw Reality. That's right. She makes some of the best vegetarian wraps ever. She has a wrap called the Panani wrap. Ooh, and it's so sweet. Also has a very big a wrap so big that it's called the Mandingo. I mean, these wraps are very good, very healthy, and all that. So that's one place I'm gonna take you to if you come to the A. Next, speaking of some sexual type food names, let's go next to my homegirl Pinky, who has Slutty Vegan and also Bar Vegan, where you can go get some great burgers, cheese steaks, all types of stuff, all vegetarian, all vegan, real good. You know, she's putting up spots everywhere. She is plastering the place. So next, let's take you to my other homegirl, Princess. She has a spot called Healthful Essence. Healthful Essence, you can get curry on goat. You can get all types of Caribbean style, soul food, vegetarian meals, and you get desserts and all that. You get all, man, you talk about going and getting your fill on all that food. Yes, that's right here in the West End area. Next, we're going to take you to Covington Highway to Chelsea's Bakery. Chelsea's Bakery is, if you want to go get some roti skins, if you want to go get some, they got food from lasagna, vegan lasagna to African style food, all vegan. Real good over on Covington Highway on what is the east side? All right, next, we're going to take you to no other than, we got to go to the Old Faithful, Soul Vegetarian. Soul Vegetarian has been around for the longest time, and they still remain to be around before all these vegetarian people was even calling themselves vegans. So that is my last spot to go. They got the good cornbread. That's right. So this is the place to go, Soul Vegetarian. And those are my top 5 vegan places to eat when you come to Atlanta. And that's what it is. Now let's get back to the host. Yeah. All right.
The advances made in vegan culinary worlds has been a beautiful thing, man.
It sure has.
A beautiful thing. So,
it sure has. And you know what the funny thing is, you know, back in the 90s and 2000s, everybody was like, you ain't gonna survive eating that rabbit food. I was like, all right. I was like, all right. Now all these people with ailments are coming to me like, what is that stuff you've been eating? And I'm like, oh, now you want to know how to eat right, how to eat to live. Okay, I get it. But I'm glad they finally came around.
There's a lot of y'all vegetarians that just eat a lot of potatoes. That's a lot of
You're right.
Y'all consuming a lot of carbs.
I see some big ones.
So you gotta be
on that vegan joint yet. I ain't sold on it because goat. You just said that curry goat. That shit made my mouth water. I said,
man, it is banging too, yo. I'm telling you, it's soy protein.
I mean, you got to be real. Like there just certain things you're gonna have to adjust to, and there are certain things you just aren't gonna be as good, and or haven't yet been replaced properly.
Mm-hmm. You can't go into it thinking, ooh, I'm gonna eat this and it's gonna taste like ribs. No, go into it thinking I'm gonna try this new food and it tastes good. I know people try to disguise it with the names just to get people's mind right, but you can't go into it like, oh, this don't taste like, it's not chicken. You know what I mean?
Well, then omit chicken from the title. You know what I mean? Like, that's what bothers me about some vegetarian dishes, because they try to like, oh, it's pretend chicken, nigga. No.
I get you on that. I get that. But it's for people's mind, because some people mind is like, I'm not trying nothing new. So if you say chicken, then they be like, oh, okay. You know what I mean?
No, I'll try it. I respect y'all for sticking to that joint 24/7. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can do meatless days, but the meat has to make an appearance. I got to know the meat is coming back. Particularly that yard bird. Yes, sir.
That yard bird is something, boy. Whew, they get you on that yard bird.
I just stopped. Sort of to that point, I've stopped fronting in thinking that I'm actually replacing some of those things. I'm just saying I'm going to do without.
Mm-hmm.
And
what's it like for y'all when y'all smell fried chicken? You know what
No
I'm
problem.
saying? Like, really? Like, you don't even, there's nothing starts tingling. Jared, you used to be a
Oh yeah, no.
Is it the same
Oh,
sort of triggering thing?
I was you hit it on the head, Kim. That's exactly what I was going to say. To this day, and I have not had a cigarette since January of 1992.
Wow.
To this day, if I look out the window right now and see somebody even just packing that new pack, tapping that, I start twinging and tingling. I'm like, God damn it! I know that's about to be good right there, boy. Yeah,
what's going on?
So I get it, and look, I've been to the family cookouts. I've been, so it's there are degrees of suffering. I'm not going to front. Like, I get it. Like, I'm not out here like, oh, I don't even care anymore. No, fuck that. It's some of it smells just delicious. And I have moments where I'm like, am I really going to go the rest of my life and not eat that whatever one more time? But that's why I'm saying that fortunately, I'm in the privileged class position because some of this is expensive, where I can afford to make these adjustments and keep up a little bit with some of the new advances. And there's a lot of variety now, and you can get them pretty much everywhere. So in general, it's kind of easy to be vegan now, as opposed to what I think it would have been even a decade ago. But there's still those moments, no doubt. Like, I'm like, drive by to whatever, the Burger King or McDonald's, and get a whiff for the kitchen, and I'm still even those spots make me like, ugh.
Yeah.
But
and to your point, Kim, also you got to do stuff in moderation, because it's like you said, a lot of people just do starches, where you got to have greens, you got to have your iron, you need to have your proteins, you need to have a round diet, because a lot of people are starching out, and that's a lot of sugar intake, and that's not good for your body either. So even when you do it, don't eat meat every 2 days, take a break someday, and then you'll start to notice some type of difference, maybe. You know what I mean? If not, you just know that psychologically and mentally that you are aiming towards getting your body more healthy.
If I did opt for a vegan or vegetarian lifestyle, truly, it would just be for aesthetic purposes only. The middle-aged vegans be looking amazing. The middle-aged vegans and vegetarians look amazing. Obviously, Badu is like the poster woman for that. Look at Erica stunting on everybody. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, that's what that lettuce is doing for you, Erica. Let me get some of that.
Yep. And that's your break for the day, talking about some good foods and good places to eat. That's my top 5. I got some more top 5. I'll come back later and talk about it. All right.
Ear Doctor.
Appreciate you, Ear Doctor.
Shouted out his free lunch for the day. Lucky him. He's going to go to one of them spots and be like, hey, let's fast forward to 45 minutes and 10 seconds.
I don't believe in luck. I don't believe in luck.
Right.
Kim.
No, don't mention luck to Ear Doctor. That's the white man's.
It's the white man's juju.
The white man's juju, the luck. Anyway, speaking of white man's juju, was this your story or was this Erica's? Biden, God willing, I don't think we're going to see a recession. So
I didn't know.
Saving us?
Yes, that was not my story. Joe Biden.
Okay.
I think they're just trying to prophesize. They're trying to get us mentally prepared for this coming recession, because all I see is stories about recession. So I'm like, oh, y'all telling us the recession is either here or it is soon come.
And trying to move beyond this video, I'm seeing that it's saying that Biden is, to your point, he's saying it's not going to be a recession, despite predictions that the GDP will contract. The employment rate is still one of the lowest. The employment rate is still one of the lowest we've had in history. It's in the 3.6% area. We still find ourselves with people investing. Biden did he mean unemployment rate? Was
he
this
did
a
mean,
typo?
Yeah, that possibly is a typo, or he probably misspoke. Either way.
Right.
Either
Both
way.
are possible. My hope is that we go from this rapid growth to steady growth. So we'll see some coming down, but I don't think we're going to, God willing, I don't think we're going to see a recession. The Bureau of Economic Analysis is scheduled to release its second quarter GDP data Thursday. If it shows negative growth, it will mark the second consecutive quarter where the economy contracted, an indicator that is often used by economists to mark recession.
Fuck economists, man. Yeah. I hate these wizards of this fucking made up magic. It's just made up. It's just made up. They take it in recession. They foster bull and bear markets at will when they feel like it. And I'm hoping that younger generations like us, Gen X, millennials, Gen Z, like at this point, it's time to overturn this system, because they are yanking our chains with this recession shit. You know what I mean? All the oligarchs and all the business leaders, they haven't suffered at all during this, or quite the opposite. We've seen a massive wealth transfer from poor people to rich people, and now the rich people are telling us that it's about to get harder for the poor people. Meanwhile, they're going to be fine. Guillotine. It is time. Who is making the guillotines out here? It is guillotine fucking time out here. They're about to put us through another economic drastic hardship. And for what? For what? Because people got too much stimulus. You got too much in your stimmy. Joe Biden gave us too much money. Fuck you. Sorry.
So, and to your point, again, not being certainly a trained economist, the way I always read these headlines and these stories is that they're, again, when they talk about the economy, they're talking about those who own it. So right. If there's a recession based on people having been given too much in stimulus, they're simply saying, well, people have too much money, they're trying to spend too much money, and we, the producers and manufacturers, can't produce is enough to keep up with what they want to buy. We don't have enough people to exploit in a workforce to produce more for these people that now have money to buy. So we have to slow down. The money stops circulating, and then the money stops circulating upwards temporarily because people can't spend on what they don't have, what is not available. And then they say it's a recession, meaning that those who own the economy are not making as much as they had projected themselves to make. So that's so, and this is exactly the lens, by the way, to your point, Kim, about the guillotine, how I see all of this, what is meant in terms of intent behind all of this effort to promote, in terms as it's projected to Black people, Black capitalism and the invest fest responses. Because to your point, when people should be saying the economy's a mess, this society's a mess, we should be overthrowing it, for hundreds of thousands and millions or tens of millions of people, their primary media is telling them, no. You just need to, vote for Biden again and down ticket the Dems again. And then you need to invest better. You need to diversify your portfolio, take advantage of this situation. Of course, buy my course to do so. And it just draws down. It's like pulling the plug on that energy that you are tapping into that should be encouraged anyway. So
that's why I think we need to run down that InvestFest attendees and speaker and panelist roster. Like, discredit every single person who shows up there and agrees to speak on behalf of this system. Tyler Perry, Steve Harvey, Charlamagne, get them niggas out of here. Like, I'm tired of it. I am so tired. I think I'm very tired. And it's incumbent upon us to discredit these well-known Black celebrities in our own circles. I mean, people look up to Steve Harvey. People look up to Tyler Perry. It blows my mind. And it's like these people are intentionally miseducating us, misleadership, the Black misleadership class. This is that. We have to start naming and shaming these people every chance we get, every single chance we get, because they are doing the white man's bidding.
So we'll continue, like myself a little bit, Geechee, and we'll continue to have been doing that a little bit in terms of InvestFest, and we'll keep doing it this week. Just going down. Erica was with us last week, and we went through the Budgetnista and her. The difficulty in that, though, is their reach.
Yeah,
and the responses that we get, that we have to do another episode of answering the critics, because even the comments on our shows in response defending these folks and saying, why are you picking on them? And why yeah, like really, like why are you picking on them? And then even as we show, to your point, Kim, specifically the breadcrumbs that go from their presentation to the very white investment groups and brokerage firms and banking entities and crypto, like they are very much fronting for the white world. in the white investment world in particular. But it's anyway, it's. So we're going to keep trying, obviously. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
I know that so many of our people, I mean, you guys know, I feel specifically a certain way about urban radio because, that's where I came from. But I see, number one, the reach that urban radio has, the influence that urban radio has had historically in our community over decades. And when I see the current state of urban radio, people who specifically hold morning show positions or afternoon show positions, the top, morning drive and afternoon drive are the biggest day parts on radio. And the shit that I hear them say to our people, it just really annoys me. I mean, I think annoying is actually being is too generous of a phrase. Like, it incenses me. It makes me incandescent with rage. It really does. I mean, the misogynoir, the patriarchy shit notwithstanding, this ethos that they pump of Black capitalism, that hustle and grind mentality, like, you all are giving destructive messages to our people. Like, it hurts me that Radio One or Urban One, Kathy Hughes, a Black-owned radio conglomerate, pushes out messages that fucks up Black communities. Like, that really disturbs my soul. It disturbs my spirit. And I look at these bourgeoisie motherfuckers and I really dislike them. I hate, maybe too strong of a word, but I have hate for the shit that they say and they do. And it's time, like, it's past time, like, discredit at every single turn that you get. And this is how I know we are lost, not wholly as a people, but somewhat as a people. Again, I watch a lot of local news because I'm very critical of media. And on the Loosey Goosey segment, on Channel 5, where they just talked about gossip, they had a Black radio personality on, and it was the regular TV host, and they were talking about, I think, Kylie Jenner, so one of them fucking Kardashians who has a private jet, and her Black baby daddy got a private jet too. And the Black woman radio personality was like, "Oh, I don't know why people so mad at her. That's goals. That's goals." I'm like, goals? It's goals to get 2 jets. Like, this is your goals. Your goals is not Black people, redistributing the whatever it costs to purchase these 2 jets. That's not your goals. Your goals is to be a 1%er, to be an oligarch, to be a billionaire like the rest of these hoes. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, it's just really, I just see the work and the mountain that we have to climb in order to reclaim people's minds and their critical thinking skills, because they're so brainwashed and just convinced at this very glossy, materialistic, capitalistic facade. And that's goals. Black liberation is not goals. It's goals to try to get a jet. I hate
it. Because that has become the stand-in for what liberation is. So that's that, my jet is our liberation, so anyway, it's pretty whack. And speaking of whack, we got a story here, the inside story of how John Roberts failed to save abortion rights. I don't know, was he supposed to save abortion rights? Chief Justice John Roberts,
that was his task. You didn't know that?
That was his job. Okay, right. Well, he failed to do it because he privately lobbied fellow conservatives to save the constitutional right to abortion down to the bitter end. But May's wait a minute. I'm sorry. I think I've confused myself. Chief Justice John Roberts privately lobbied fellow conservatives to save the constitutional right to abortion down to the bitter end. But May's unprecedented leak of a draft opinion reversing Roe v. Wade made the effort all but impossible, multiple sources familiar with negotiations told CNN.
Okay.
It appears unlikely that Roberts' best prospect, Justice Brett Kavanaugh, was ever close to switching his earlier vote, despite Roberts' attempts that continued through the final weeks of the session. New details obtained by CNN provide insight into the high-stakes internal abortion rights drama that intensified in late April when justices first learned the draft opinion would soon be published. Serious conflicts over the fate of the 1973 Roe were then accompanied by tensions over an investigation into the source of the leak that included obtaining cell phone data from law clerks and some permanent court employees. In the past, Roberts himself has switched his vote or persuaded others to do so toward middle ground, institutionalist outcomes, such as saving the Affordable Care Act. It's a pattern that has generated suspicion among some right-wing justices and conservatives outside the court. So apparently he is being credited as having tried to save and just been incapable of turning people. Is that, and so I just have to admit ignorance on that issue, because I didn't know anyway. So
do you know what that sounds like to me, Jared? It sounds like Pete Carroll should have gave Marshawn Lynch the ball at 1 to 2 yard line. So the Seahawks could have won their second Super Bowl. Who gives a fuck at this point? Like, who cares? Who cares if whatever this nigga was doing beforehand? The shit is done now. Dunzo. I'm not interested in your hindsight 2020. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, mighta. Who cares? It's over now. It's not over, but that aspect of it was over, and there's no point of trying to redeem John Roberts here as the the person who had the sense or the reason in the room or was trying to be the voice of reason. It's over, man. Listen, John Roberts, who he was appointed by Bush, right? I think W appointed Roberts to this court. Yeah. Stop fucking playing with me, dog. Like, even if Roberts himself was against, over, ruling the way that the court did in this Dobbs decision, he knew he was not going to flip Brett Kavanaugh, Amy Coney Barrett, and Clarence Thomas. He knew he had no chance of flipping them folks. Come on, no chance.
So it's it's interesting that you use the word redeem, because as I was reading that story, the recurring thought that I kept having was, is this another attempt to redeem the right wing and Republican Party by this sort of, again, this attempt to I don't know, redeem them in the post-Trump era as being a legitimate, I don't know, balance with the Democrats to the rabid right wing represented by Trump, like this attempt to bring back legitimacy to a Republican Party that had lost some in the eyes of some after Trump. So that the Democrats and Republicans could continue to more easily play this little hustle game that they've been playing. But anyway, I don't know. I mean, I think what you've said is sufficient enough for sure on that.
I mean, I'm not convinced that we are in a post-Trump era, first of all.
Well,
I don't
know. And I think, but I'm sorry. Yeah. And I think that's sort of what I'm getting at, that with the idea that he's going to come back, or someone like him is going to come back in the next election, it would help from their point of view. I would think that both parties would want to not offer legitimacy to that. So that's why I'm saying, like, maybe they're trying to say, look, John Roberts isn't that bad. He's a Bush appointee. He's not. I don't know. Maybe
it's an attempt to re-legitimize the court, because basically the court is an illegitimate institution, basically. But the fact that they stole a Supreme Court nominee from Obama, and Trump got to nominate 3 justices, 2 of which outwardly lied. I mean, not that I had any expectation that they were being truthful about Roe v. Wade during their confirmation hearings in the first place. And these fucking gullible ass senators, Susan Collins, etc. I didn't know Brett Kavanaugh was going to lie to me. Bitch, why didn't you think he was going to lie to you? Like, what? Why did you think he would not sit there and tell you a bold-faced anyway? But regardless, I don't know. Like, the fact that white women, I think, are so incensed behind and are taking action. I mean, it's white folks outside the Supreme Court justices' houses around here, Jared. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Maybe they feel the legitimacy of the court slipping away from the minds of those who actually hold the court in some esteem, and maybe they're trying to reclaim some of that in this article. But again, we Monday morning quarterbacking at this point.
Yeah, you're right about that. Anyway, let's before we move on, let's reclaim the ear doctor back to the stage and see what's on his docket next up. Yes.
All right. So last time we talked about top 5. I got another top 5 to talk about. So
dinner. You already took care of your top 5 lunch. What we got? Top 5 dinner.
Dessert.
I'm out here in the boonies right now, so I got to cook all my food today, which I have no problem with. I enjoy cooking. So let's go ahead and get to our next break right here on the Remix Morning Show.
Black Power Media.
Yep. All right, everybody, welcome out, welcome out. We got some viewers up in here doing y'all. Make sure before y'all leave, come in, hit that like button real quick. You know, that's what we like to do. All right, so check this out real quick. So we talking top 5. I was actually had the privilege to be on I Mix What I Like last Friday. And the chat room and the people of them, they asked me what is my top 5 DJs and what is my top 5 morning shows. Well, I'll let you hear what happened. And this was on Dr. Jared Ball's You Are Earning Their Leisure. So go check that episode out if you haven't. Check this out.
Well, so I'm glad you said that, because we got a question here from Mumbizi. A Q question for the ear doctor. Your top 5 morning shows of all time. I would want you to give us a top 5 DJs too. Like who's on your Mount Rushmore of DJs?
Okay.
And I'm not sure what is meant by the top 5 morning shows. Is it remixes or just in general? Like,
I'm gonna say this: remix. There we go. That's my top 5.
Dylan.
That's my top 5 for real. Now, I've never seen a show like the remix, because straight up, hip hop, music, history, politics, all that mixed in one, and then people having differences of opinions and still being able at the end of the day to come along and have a goal to liberate people with their thoughts and have a space where you could just say what you want to say and not be ridiculed. Well, I mean, stop talking chat room, they be going at me. But
they go at everybody. You gotta be careful.
But even when you say top DJs, I would say we are going to stop it right there. And if you want to know who my top 5 DJs are, go ahead and go check out that episode. That's right, last Friday on I Mix What I Like. Now, let's take it back to the Remix Morning Crew. You know how we do. All right. Remix Morning Show. You know how we do. It's the Remix Morning Show.
I watched that episode. It was a very good episode of I Mix What I Like.
Very good episode. Appreciate you having me on there, Dr. Jared Ball. You know,
no, we got to do that again. It was a lot of fun, and we got a lot of good response to that, and got some suggestions too in terms of future programming and how to deal with some of the questions that came up.
No doubt.
So for sure, that was a good time, man.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. He threw me to the chat room, Kim. He threw me to the chat room, and they. Nah, it was dope. I'm glad people got it, because Kim, with us being on radio before, we used to people calling in and saying what they want to say. So it was good to go back and forth with the chat room with their questions and stuff and being able to answer it. Dope show. I Mix What I Like.
Doctor, even with small things that you say, you reveal a lot about your character. Because there's a lot of people who have worked in radio who they will sit there in the studio and watch them phones ring and ring and ring and ring and ring. I am not one of those people. I answer the phones. Like, you've taken the time to call. Because again, I was that person as a kid on the other line calling the radio station like a little flunky. But anyway, you just tell me right there that you answer the phones, Air Doctor. That's good. You are interested in what your listeners are calling to tell you. So that's wonderful. I'm glad. Look at you.
You can't take this stuff personal, man. Everybody gonna be a critic. Everybody gonna have their criticism. But if you know who you are and you know what you do, then it's all good. You know what I'm saying? Say what you say.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's
shout out to community comment.
What they say?
Just in general, because I agree with what Kim was just saying there. But we in particular, when we were doing radio at WPFW, the community comment section was a 30 minute to an hour in the morning, and shout out to the callers. It was always a good time.
And what was dope about the interview too is, the point of, people asking me about my politics and stuff like that. I came into learning about my people on a historical level. Like, I wasn't into, learning about politics or this, that, and the third. I more learned about my history and realized so many things we've done and that I can do any and everything my damn self. So you know, it's different levels that we enter to where we at now. And with Black Power Media, we all coming together and we're able to exchange ideals and learn from each other. So it's a beautiful thing.
I agree. Couldn't agree more.
No doubt. Well,
Right
that's
on,
it for
right
today.
on.
I'm out of here. Catch y'all at the end of the show, I believe, because we hit 300 viewers.
Did we really?
What?
Yes, we did.
Nice.
So I'll catch
How
y'all
come-
later. What up?
Thank you, doctor. If we hit 300 viewers, how come I only see 108 thumbs up? Chat.
Just tell me about
Oh,
it.
that's ridiculous.
Why is
That's
not?
ridiculous.
Why is that mathing, gang, gang?
Math
What's
ain't math.
happening? Get it together, chat.
Oh, by the way, because I believe they were in the chat, and I think I forgot to mention this, but just so folks know, not this Friday, but the following Monday, August 1st, we starting our Black August coverage with Devin Springer is going to be on the show to talk about Cuba and some documentary work, and then we're going to talk about Black August, and we're also going to talk about how they were censored, about the censoring of journalism. So we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. So looking forward to that. Speaking of the comment in the chat. Anyway, Kim, did you sent us something that looked a little interesting, and
Jared's adopted homeland. Yeah.
Adopted homeland. And folks, stay tuned, because I'm actually trying to build some programming around this story that might feature our good comrade, brother Ramiro. So stay tuned. But yeah, go ahead and set up what you like. And
what can I say here? Because I have to say, like, all I know is that the people in Panama are in the streets. that's really the extent of what I know. I know they're in the streets as a result of in part of inflation, food prices, gas prices. I'm sure there are way more issues going on than that. But obviously, you know, it's Black people in Panama. So I can imagine that the Black people are disproportionately experiencing these price hikes and this inflation worser than non-Black Panamanians. So this report from Telesur English is, I hope, about to shed some much needed light on the situation.
In Panama, the government's cabinet has decided to lift the import tariffs on several products and propose to repeal tourism incentives retroactively. The Cabinet Council approved on Monday afternoon the elimination of import fees on a list of reductions and products agreed upon at the Unified Dialogue Table for Panama, which is being held in Penónome, the province of Cocle. Some of the listed products are corn flakes, corn cones, and other corn analogs, toilet paper, as well as sanitary napkins, pads, and tampons. In addition, the cabinet made progress towards repealing tourism incentives, denounced by the people for granting multimillionaire benefits to the wealthiest business persons in the country.
Just a lot of the same stuff. Open things up a little bit, so that you can get some goods and services to people, and then also to benefit those who own the economy. It's like, so I mean, so every step of the way, everything has to be about what is being distributed out of what is being created or gained. And I think kind of connected to what we were talking about in the last segment is those who own the Panamanian economy are feeling the negative impact from their perspective of people being blocked from coming in to do tourism, from goods and services being delivered, so and so on, and people spending their money. Yeah.
What are the delays in tourism because of these protests? Are there issues with air travel or hospitality like that you're aware of?
I honestly don't know the extent. I'm still trying to catch up to the extent that it's all happening. There have been, somewhat similar to what that story was reporting, I know that there had been some concessions made and people returning back to work and easing up on some of the protests. So I'm assuming things have gotten, there has been travel, air travel has been, working at least. Relatively speaking. So, but honestly, I don't know. And that's why I'm saying I'm still trying to learn more. And I've actually reached out to Ramiro Sebastian Funes, who I know covers from a very left perspective that region of the world much more closely than I do. And we're looking to be doing some collaborative programming on this particular story. And I'd like to even convince some loved ones who are there now to jump on and help us out a little bit. But one thing that I'm a little bit sensitive to, and I know certainly like people in Black Alliance for Peace and others would know this at least as well, that I am sensitive to the differences in the form of repression that we see here versus in other parts of the world. And it is, I think, easier to be louder here than in other parts of the world. So it's always impressive, and a shout out to people who struggle outside of the center of empire, where things get a little more complicated and dangerous. So anyway, but I just have to keep watching and learn more about what's going on to get to the details in the question you raised. But shout out to everybody in struggle.
Panama.
And that's the thing. I mean, Panama is, for people who are not aware, almost all of not only the goods, but the people and tourist travel that goes into Central and South America goes through Panama. Almost every like a lot of flights stop there. A lot of people stop and change flights and go to other parts of the world from there. It is a hub. And it is very important, obviously, to American empire and Western business interests, which is also why I think it's telling to see how stark the and similar the oppression still remains there. That even where there is more attention from the so-called developed or mother country, the inequality is still horrific. And yet relatively better than other parts of that region. So, I mean, it's anyway,
I guess. I don't know. Like, I mean, again, like I'm so attracted to places outside of the US because, this is my point of reference, and I'm tired. I'm very tired of America. I'm very tired of, experiencing white supremacy as a Black person, especially Black women here. But like you said, it's not really there's no safe havens, no safe spaces. That's what I'm saying. If I ever make it to Cuba, good luck, Cuba, putting me out. Good luck. I wish the Cuban government the best of luck trying to get me to leave, because I would never leave. I would squat my ass right there and say, maybe y'all gonna have to send the Marines to come collect, because I'm not going. I'm staying right here. I renounce.
I mean, if anything, they'd be more likely to welcome you and support your stay than put you in jail. But and the quality of your medical care would go all the way up too.
Listen, Jared, they got a whole ass lung cancer vaccine. Like, it is appalling to me that there is a lung cancer vaccine that exists in the world, and it is not available to people here, especially because our government is a bunch of dickheads, and like we would just refuse. We will refuse medical technology that can actually save people's lives, improve people's lives, extend people's lives, because we don't like the way Cuba operates, their island. It's like, oh God, like capitalism is the impediment of humanity. Like, we will never progress so long as we start living under the system.
Right on to that. And almost to add more evidence to that point is the story here.
What we got here?
Exclusive. Hyundai subsidiary has used child labor at Atlanta factory.
At Atlanta factory?
I'm sorry, Alabama. I'm sorry.
Well, either way.
Alabama. Either way. My apologies to Atlanta. I didn't mean to throw that.
Whoa. Hyundai.
A subsidiary of Hyundai Motor Company has used child labor at a plant that supplies parts for the Korean car maker's assembly line in nearby Montgomery, Alabama, according to area police. The family of 3 underage workers and 8 former current employees of the factory. Underage workers, in some cases as young as 12, have recently worked at a metal stamping plant operated by Smart Alabama LLC, these people said. Smart, listed by Hyundai as in corporate filings as a majority-owned unit, supplies parts for some of the most popular cars and SUVs built by the automaker in Montgomery, its flagship U.S. assembly plant. In a statement sent after Reuters first published its findings on Friday, Hyundai said it does not tolerate illegal employment practices at any Hyundai entity. We have policies and procedures in place that require compliance with all local, state, and federal laws. It didn't answer detailed questions from Reuters about the findings. I mean, what else are they going to say in a press statement?
I mean, but come on, Alabama, probably one of the biggest right-to-work states in the union that has the least amount of labor protections. And here come Hyundai talking about we adhere to all state and local government. Nigga, ain't no rules, ain't no rules in Alabama. What are you adhering to? Stop it.
And even more to your point is that there's no rules in capitalism either. And and of course, speaking of obligatory statements, Smart has said they deny any allegations that it knowingly employed anyone who is ineligible for employment.
What's the
I mean, I think sorry, go ahead.
What's the odds that this 12-year-old is non-white? I would imagine the odds of 12-year-old not being non-white is very, very high. Very high.
In fact, it says, I believe here, that we're talking about a Guatemalan migrant child. The girl who turns 14 this month and her two brothers, 12 and 15, all worked at the plant this year and weren't going to school.
Oh my God.
According to people familiar with their employment. Their father, Pedro C., confirmed these people's account in an interview with Reuters. But again, shame on these folks for illegally coming to this country and taking our jobs and not paying taxes, supporting the economy. How dare they?
Another fucking scam. Another fucking scam.
I mean, so I mean, it's just, because again, Jesus Christ. I mean, so much of the argument about even Pan-Africanism and anti-soda and all of that is about immigrants taking Black people's jobs, as if so you're right, because we should want our 12-year-olds working in these, and it's and then, and again, even like we have to remember, it was only the labor movement that prevented child labor from being exploited. Like there had to be a fight just to get them to stop putting 9-year-olds in factories. So it's like, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I need to go to therapy to figure out why I laugh in response to so much of this. But
it's a trauma response, Jared. Don't fret. I do the same thing. I laugh through a lot of things I should not laugh through. It's not even so much that I find them funny. It's just that, I mean, what the alternative to not laughing is despondency on the floor. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just in a heap on the floor, sobbing uncontrollably. So I have to sniggle at the shit, because if I don't, it's going to drive me absolutely nuts. But 12 years old, they're putting 12-year-olds. I said, again, this whole immigration kerfuffle is so phony to me. Like these whites and these conservatives and even some of these Black conservatives be ripping, rant and raving, shouting up and down about, how much the immigrants is doing this, that, and the third. Meanwhile, subtract immigrant labor from this economy. What do you have? You subtract and undocumented labor from this economy. What the fuck do you have? You don't really have a lot, because this economy is on the backs of those exact same people, those folks. On my show recently, on Burn It Down with Kip Brown, I talked about how these extreme temperatures across the country, but specifically out in the West, are really taking a toll on farm workers, right? Farm workers who have very few protections. Most of them are undocumented and or immigrants, not very likely to speak up if they are being mistreated on the job. And they're out there in 90+ degree temperatures, 100+ degree temperatures, 8 hours a day, doing very, very, very difficult and skilled labor, and subtract them out of the equation. And we all starve. You know what I mean? Nobody getting no food. You ain't getting no strawberries. You ain't getting shit if the farm workers are removed from the equation. So I hate that this country pretends as though we don't actually need immigrant labor. It depends on immigrant labor. Relax.
Again, shout out to Dr. James Turner, who first introduced me however many years ago to the Bracero program. what was it that I believe it was called, that pre and post Second World War program of bringing in immigrants illegally when they needed to replace the labor force fighting overseas, and then punishing them and locking them up and deporting them as soon as the labor force started to return. So it's like this country has no problem messing with immigrants whenever they need to, using them whenever they need to, depress the wages of people whenever they need to blame them for all the problems when they need to. It's a nice little system, though. It's a nice little system.
It is a scam. I mean, executed at the highest levels. So high, Britain even adopted that shit. They are deporting the Windrush generation, the Caribbean folks that they intentionally brought to the British Isles to work. And now they're like, oh, but y'all not really from here, so we're going to send y'all the fuck back to Jamaica, even though you haven't touched Jamaica in 40 years. Anyway. Get me out of here.
Anyway, speaking of,
real quick, hold on. Was it yesterday's video, the remix video? Somebody left a comment saying, "Kim, will you marry me?" And I'm here to respond
I saw
to that person. Do you live outside of the United States? I'm telling you, I'm not here to marry for love. I'm not even here to marry for money. I'm here to marry for citizenship. Citizenship. Get me out of here. Can you rescue me? Can you get me the fuck out of this rotten colony? Now, your country might be a rotten colony too, but it's not as rotten as this one. It is not as rotten as this one. So, person, if you live abroad, inbox me, man. We can have a conversation. I'm not marrying for love. I'm marrying for citizenship. Get me out of here.
I don't know if he's still around or how he's doing. It's been some years since I've seen him, but shout out to this brother Jabari that used to be in every activist meeting in DC for the longest time. And the first thing he would say during every comment section of every meeting was, every Black person has to have a passport and be able to get up out of here.
Yeah.
So I hear that in Kim's, checklist. If you ain't got a passport,
right. Yeah. If you
want to be with me, you better have a passport. You
gotta be in good standing in your country of origin. You have to be able to go back to bring your wife, your new wife. You have to be in good standing so we can travel back home, honey. Okay, we have to travel back home. And listen, home might be rough. It may be a different situation. I understand that we will work through it. We will work through it. Just get
this is perfect. We did a silly TV section earlier in the show. This is the next show we need to have on BPM. 90 Day Fiance.
Hey,
for Kim.
Let's go. Priority given to Africans from Africa. We're going to give the priority to the Africans from Africa. We're going to let the Cubans come in. Oh, yes. Let's let the Cubans come in.
If you are from outside the United States and again have a working passport and are in good standing in your country of origin, if I'm hearing Kim correctly.
But you can't be European.
Can't be European.
Your country of origin cannot be anywhere in Europe. Nowhere we're not going to Europe.
World majority people only. Outside the country, U.S. A passport and good standing.
Yes.
And submit your CVs to Black Power Media, care of Kim Brown.
With the photo.
And with a photo.
With the photo. And also consideration.
Current photo, Kim.
Photo. Thank you. Don't be like Roland Martin out here. Roland's still rocking his head shot from when he had hair, and it's like, Roland, what's going on here? But no, I mean, preference also South Asian. I love India, Pakistan. Yep, I love the men are very attractive in that part of the world also. So priority given to Africa, yes. Southeast Asia. Where else can we go? Possibly the Caribbean. I don't know. It depends.
Central South America.
I'll take it. Yes.
Possibly Caribbean.
I'll take it.
Okay.
I'll take it. But Canada, absolutely not. Europe, absolutely not. No.
If your your home country is a member of NATO, you are not.
It's over.
You're not in. And so that, including you too. What is it? Sweden and Finland trying to get in there late. Who these late arrivals, you all out too. So anyway, I like it. 90 Day Fiance.
Let's do
Kim Brown, the Kim Brown edition here at BPM.
Let's go.
All right, you've heard the criteria, everybody. Let's get it started.
That's right.
All right, real quick.
Old ass wife. You looking for an old wife? Go come get you an old wife. I'm right here.
But let's
you.
we can at least, obviously the intelligence and the charisma is obvious, but we also can add we can add, you know, she could roll a good blunt.
That and I will even I'll step in as stepmother. I'm not bearing no children. Okay, no, there will be no children born of this union. Okay, but if you have kids, I don't have a problem if you have kids. We can, you know, I'm nice with kids. Kids are cool. But no children will be born of this union. No children will be born.
We know Kim knows her music, so you're gonna be good on that. She's good with the dogs.
Yep. I can cook, and I'm a good cook.
She can cook, and she's nice with the shotty. That's a pretty good. That's a pretty good resume, Kim.
Hey now,
you should get a lot of this.
Hey, just because I'm unmarried don't mean I ain't a good catch out here. Now, listen, I just ain't fishing. I just ain't been trying to reel one in. But if you're talking citizenship, now we talking. You know what I'm saying?
There it is.
There we go. There we go. Yes.
Oh, I Manifesto wants to know if you would consider a surrogate.
Someone else carrying the baby. Someone else someone else carrying the baby. Absolutely. Someone else carrying the baby is fine. But no.
There you go.
Yes. So
this
anyway,
easy.
Whoever the man said, Kim, will you marry me? I need to know your country of origin and are you in good standing in said country? And then and that's a two-way street here because they get American citizenship too if they want it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And then I guess you would just be saying you could have American citizenship, but when you go visit, you just be by yourself. Is that
yes.
Because Kim be back wherever the other spot is.
Slim. Oh man, let a cute Ghanaian come into my mentions. Let that baby. Can we please be in Accra tomorrow? Can we be in Accra tomorrow, please?
Wow, there it is. That's look. We are a full service platform here, so I feel like
90 Days Fiancé. Now I'm actually have to watch that show. I'm aware of the show. I know what the premise is. I've never seen it.
It's totally bananas nuts. It is just totally. If you really want to see like the true depths of humanity, outside of a news space where we see those depths on a daily.
I feel like 90 Day Fiancé and Love After Lockup, like I feel like all these joints is the same vein. And I don't know.
And I think it's probably literally the same producers saying we need unscripted, largely at least unscripted content. We're not paying a bunch of writers. We're not paying a bunch of, we need easy, repeatable themes. And an endless amount of either unpaid or underpaid talent to work from. People just wanting to be on TV and share all of themselves and more. So, and they're like, so we'll do a version, like you said, we'll do a version over here. We got a version of that over here. And it's just the few times I admit watching it, it is
something.
It is just train wrecks on top of plane crashes on top of boat wrecks, Titanic.
Do they deal with people dealing with immigration? Do they deal with people dealing with
Oh, that's a lot of it. A lot of it is someone trying to get and sometimes overly obviously married into this U.S. citizenship. It's like this is my best pathway. And then there in the reverse is also people saying, I know the only thing that you would find appealing in me is my U.S. citizenship. So I'll play the card I got. And it's again just the willingness to do this in front of everybody, which is I'm sure, so I don't know if they cover fees for filing and all that kind of stuff and help the process on the backside. I don't know if that's part of it. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's clear that there's not a lot of investment on the production side. It's like we just gonna scrape the bottom of the barrel and put it on TV, and then suckers, including me, on a handful of occasions, will tune in and just be like, "Damn, people really doing this?" And it's like, "Damn!" Like anyway, so
see now I'm intrigued. I'm gonna have to.
And I didn't mean to do a commercial for it, but that it's anyway. But as a template for the coming program featuring you might be something. You could, get some. Anyway. So look, good people, I want to greatly, deeply thank the remixers who helped us get over whatever that threshold is. The Ear Doctor is standing by to reward us with our mix break. So I don't know what you got for us.
Can we do a show? Ear Doctor goes to Ghana in search of 2 wives. What?
Well, that'll be the let that be the complimenting 30 minutes to Kim, and we'll have a full hour of programming. Kim's search for her fiance, your search for your multiple wives.
Yeah.
And we'll just
I'm just saying, but what's the benefit for guys getting married nowadays? I don't see it.
I don't see the benefit in women getting married. You saying like I know what's in it for men if they get married. I don't not see what's in it for women.
In certain roles, we take care of everybody, so we almost like women slaves for women.
I think it's more insight to the way you operate in a relationship, which is interesting, Doctor. But everybody knows that women more times are running the household. A lot of times they have full-time jobs, and a lot of times they are doing the majority of the domestic labor in the house, including the cleaning, cooking, and child rearing.
Check.
Right. Like and see Jared, at least Jared know his role. Jared is there as a supplementary partner, you know what I'm saying? Like
check.
Jared takes his orders well and
really
list. That's what you do.
Check. And I'm gonna live longer.
Your wife needs a show. Your wife needs a show on here. Your wife and Kamal's wife need programs.
She's old school in this regard. She is pre-new media. She is from the real gangsters moving silence and violence. There's no shows for bosses like that.
The fruit of her labor, the fruit of her efforts are on display. I just feel as though
you never see
trove
like
of
I used to say
to dispense.
Like I always say in my media classes, the person you see on camera is the least powerful person in the process of producing that content. Don't get it twisted. Do not get it twisted. That is happy boy. But it's true. Happy wife, happy life, man.
Look at how happy
live long.
Look at how happy Jared is, y'all. Look at how happy Jared is. Jared knows his place and he is ecstatic about it. Like, I love that for you.
Thrilled.
Hey, you don't want to see how happy I am stretching across my whole bed. It's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to fight for cover or nothing. I'm a happy man. Wake up happy. But anyway, let's go ahead and get to a mix.
That sounds like projection. That sounds like lies. That sounds like
I can't sleep in an empty bed anymore.
Wow. Oh my God. I'm out of it. Look. Remix Morning Show, y'all. Oh, woe is me. Yo. Oh yeah. We just gonna rock some beats real quick. And I'll spit a little bit. How about it? Yo. My friends call me Naka. Got a b-boy posture, talking proper. Alias Ear Doctor, tenant shade watcher. Yo, I be a heat popper. If my C's need popper, it's straight drop your top shotter like Sprague. International rocker, renowned hip hopper. Catch me sipping cranberry with a splash of vodka. Never sloppy faced it like Shabba. Skin copper tone, a red bone in the A. Well known in the metro like my cell phone. Telephone, swell a dome like a felon chrome whistle. Blowing out brain tissue. I'm official black, no need to question that. Hands stay clean, I mean, I ain't got to touch a gap. Matter of fact, I just slap lanes like I'm Rick James. I ain't made for games, yo, I made the game. And I keep it simple and far from plain. You know what I'm saying? That's how we doing it. Keeping it right here on your brain. Right here on the Remix Morning Show. Giving y'all that breakfast, that boom, boom, bap, original rap. Let's go. Once again, thank y'all for tuning in right here on the Remix Morning Show. You know how we do. Tune in tomorrow morning. We will be here 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Tell a friend to tell a friend. That's right, it's on again. Big up to all my people in the chat room. We out of here.
What I want to do is